this, do you have one of your documents open that if you were to share it with us, we could see it here? Just try it real fast.
I don't have anything with me right now. It's nothing to copy with memory stick.
Oh, okay, so you don't know, we're gonna have to look at your hard copies then.
I don't
Right?
have any of those with me. They're. So I gotta have a few minutes. I logged in 10 minutes before, but it wouldn't load Zoom on my computer, which I've never used it on my computer.
Yeah, I wouldn't. You'd probably need
I
a,
want to show you something on that.
anyway, we've got, John here,
The audit over
Kirsten,
there.
Kirsten's here, we have Julie here, Trevor, and
What this
Loretta,
is.
and myself.
Oh, I guess we got a staple.
So we're waiting for, who else was gonna join us?
Jay was gonna try, and I think that Wilson was, and Julie was.
Got that
wasn't
going
she?
for me.
So,
Okay,
down here, and then the totals in the.
they haven't appeared on the Zoom yet.
I thought
This is
Jay
the
was
only
one.
thing.
Yeah, that's what he just said. Jay said he was gonna be on here, but he's not.
Appreciate it.
It took me a
She said she got it
while.
working online. I'm gonna go
If she
check.
hadn't
and see.
shown me, I wouldn't have figured
Okay.
it out.
It's not a huge deal, it'd just be nice to have it. Yeah, it's not.
And this is, I don't know how many, do you have any more agendas for her?
Oh, awesome, thank you. Okay, that's it. Thank you.
Okay.
Thanks.
I take care of my friends, I just can't remember who the other one is.
Oh, good, John, as long as it's just me.
So he went over to see if his computer actually works now,
Julie has the other one.
Yeah, she's a keeper too.
and then we can get
That's
started.
because she's a Bronco fan.
They fired Harbaugh today, did you hear that?
Who that?
The Baltimore
Ravens
Ravens
head coach.
fired their head coach today.
Wasn't it funny to see these headlines for the NFL come out the day after the season?
Change.
Fired.
That would be Black Monday and Tuesday.
But I don't feel bad for them because they make a lot of money
They do make
in a
that.
very short period of time.
5 coaches probably will be fired, that's what,
I think we're already up there. I think we're there.
So-
Plus the two
on
that were,
average.
two that were fired in
Oh, okay. Let's see here.
two that were fired in season, plus 5 more.
View and,
Okay.
okay, now admit.
How many
Is there
now?
any capitals in
And
that
Dave
one?
Wilson. Okay.
Nope. Okay, town Wi-Fi.
Gotta hear the password.
By the way, I
Okay.
looked it up and I found it.
Dave, can you hear us okay? And Rand, both of you are muted right now.
That one worked, I think.
You guys need to unmute yourselves just to test and make sure we can hear you.
Okay, I'm unmuted, but I got all kinds of platforms.
Okay, but we can hear you. Dave?
What's the-
Oh, hey, we actually have a visual. Boy, he's an old guy, isn't he? That's on the recording.
Mechanic.
Dave, are you there?
Wait, now you can hear me.
Yes, we
Can you
can.
hear me now?
Yes, perfect.
Okay,
Okay,
okay.
good. All right, Rand? Oh, he went back to,
Okay, I
okay,
think I'm unmuted.
yep, you're good. Why don't you kick us off?
Let me see if I can figure out. It says to share screen.
Don't,
What
well,
does that do?
that shares your, it'll give you choices of which screen to share, and you just have to pick the one that you want to show.
Let's see, where's the agenda?
This is called teaching an old dog new tricks. The problem is, you
It's
know,
called inefficiency due to technology.
if he's like me, you forget it the next day. I asked the auditors some questions. They gave a phenomenal response. I kind of like these
Yeah,
things.
that's it. Jeez. Okay, now where did Zoom go?
You don't have to see yourself. Just, can you get your,
Try this. Well, you don't see my screen, do you?
no. Do a share.
Yeah. I don't know how to do this stuff.
Yeah, you need an EA. Executive
I have
assistant.
one. That's what I'm talking to.
I can't get there.
But I should see
Okay,
this, I can see.
you made it. You're sharing. We see the agenda.
The other documents though.
I know, but you'll have to, you'll have to, when you get to that point, then you'll have to share a different screen, just like you just did to get this one up. Okay?
She did it, I didn't do it.
Well, keep your EA right handy.
She said keep it handy.
All right.
So, I guess we can start the meeting, though we're kind of fumbling around. Who's on the call right now?
Okay, we have Dave.
I am doing,
Dave, we have Trevor, Loretta, Julie, John, and Kirsten.
Trying to take minutes at the same time, because unless somebody wants to volunteer to take minutes. Takes me a minute to write notes.
I may be able to help you with that.
As you can see right there, purpose of the FAB is to advise the town council regarding financial matters and make recommendations to the mayor and council. The board also assists the mayor and council on special projects that affect financial affairs of the town. It used to be a lot more specific, but we generalized that a couple of years ago. So it's kind of twofold. We make recommendations based on what we see, and then we'll also assist in analyses that may be done. Those are great. So the third item there is a minute taker. Should I continue to make the minutes?
If you want to, I am recording this and I've got the AI companion on it, so it will give you minutes after we're done, and then you just have to edit those minutes. Okay?
Lord, okay.
Don't worry about it.
All right, so the main purpose of this meeting of our three usual standing meetings is to review the audit, the draft audit, understand auditors are coming next week to review with the council. A few of us have sent in issues which they've responded to or modified. Does anyone want to cover any issues on that at this point? I mean, I can go through mine, or someone else can jump in.
I think if people want to see those responses, I don't know how many sent in questions. Did you, Julie?
No, I did not.
John, you probably didn't either. Dave, did you send any questions in?
I did.
Did you
Can you hear
get,
me?
did he get responses?
I didn't get any.
Okay. No, I have not heard anything in response to any of it, but basically mine were mostly in agreement with what Rand had sent in.
Okay.
But I also was curious about some, if the auditors had been notified, just a minute, let me see if I can. Potential fraud issues if they had been notified of that. And specifically if the water had been off 25 to 35% is my understanding of what the differences were if they were advised of that. And if that had been factored into their audit program, and whether or not that seemed material to the auditors, because they have to factor that in for what they audit.
Yeah. Is that the one?
Yeah, you got
I'm
your,
gonna try to bring up the audit. Okay, does that show?
yes,
So everybody sees the audit?
yes.
Well, that worked, I don't know how, but, yeah, they kind of had some of the same questions I had. Well, let me go through these and, we'll see where we end up. First of all, on the the audit, the page one talked about internal controls. And the thing that I wanted to ask is, asked it before I saw the risk assessment that Trevor sent out with the newsletter. So I can just jump to that and say, are we doing the things in the risk assessment? Are those recommendations institutionalized yet?
Yeah, and
Spot check?
a lot of the stuff in the risk assessment was based on things we'd already done. There are some other things we're working on too. There's a lot of stuff we changed, and yes, we're doing a lot of stuff in there and working on the rest.
So they were implemented basically when you started, when you came on board, which was still to 2024, 25.
Yes,
And we've continued that into 2025, 26.
yes.
Okay. Okay. You feel comfortable with
So
that?
I guess the question would be, in the summer when some of us are there, if the town would like any spot checks, fresh eyes made on some of those internal control needs, let us know. I didn't think much had been addressed until I saw the risk assessment, so it took a pretty good document. I read the whole thing.
Yep.
Believe it.
No, thank you. Thank you
Next
for
one
doing it.
is, sure. The second point I had is not a big deal. On page 8, let me just flip it down to there. These are some of the questions I had that I didn't send back towards the auditors. But page 8. Where is it? Okay, see this transfer section in the fourth line from the bottom? 296,000 that we made the year previous, 2024. The general fund transferred this 296,000 to the water fund. Now they seem to have a lot of reserve funds being built up. Can they transfer that back to the general fund? That's a question I have. I'm not looking for an answer, but it's just a question. So it looked like we had to subsidize the water a couple of years ago. I'm thinking that ought to be paid back.
So this year, let me ask for this year, has there been any transfers of funds to water? There hasn't. No, none this year.
See the first column there, 2025,
Yeah,
business
What
type,
page are we on,
government solution.
What page are we on?
He said 8.
8.
1/8?
8.
Oh, here it is. I guess the fourth column over is the 24 business type activities. 296, 394. Then over here, we're better than that because we didn't transfer anything this year. And I'm just wondering, I never did get a good story a year or two ago when that transferred. Now I'm saying, well, can we transfer it back? I mean, does the water fund really need that fusion from the general fund? So I'm not looking for an answer, but that's maybe
Not a
something we
huge
should
amount of money.
look at. And I'll get more into the water in a little bit.
So does anybody know when those transfers are made? Are they considered loans?
When,
It wasn't
between
talked
the
about at the
general fund and
moment.
water,
It was in Kristen Gray's time. And we had
So
lawyers.
you-
because they have to be kept separate. So if the general fund gives the water fund money, it's a loan. If the water fund gives the general side money, it's considered a loan.
And do you establish an interest rate?
It's supposed to be, but this was before me.
I know, I understand that. So, no, but going forward,
Yes.
we'll have an interest rate, but so far we haven't had to do it.
But those
Except for
are,
this.
those transfers that happen in, I guess in 24, because they're on the financials for 24, 24, 25, fiscal year 25, are considered loans.
It is supposed to be
Yes.
considered a loan, yes. Your water has to be self-sufficient. So anything like.
So how do we track the loan and get it, can we get it back into the general fund?
Is it, like, does it say why?
Water revenues, the water reserves went up quite a bit.
It has to be in the balance sheet as a liability associated with the town. I have not personally seen that, but I could look at it and see. That'd be, I mean, just to make sure, because probably these were never done that way.
Yeah.
So the water fund should show a due to, right? And
Exactly. But I don't
I
see
spent
anything,
this whole week on due tos and froms.
I don't
And
see
then-
anything in the balance sheet for that. Now, I'll take another look, but I
So,
haven't seen it yet.
so should we talk, excuse me, something stuck in my throat.
It chokes
Should
you
we
up.
talk to the auditors, like, shouldn't that be established then as part of this audit, that we have a due to, due from situation between the two, I'll call them funds? I mean, I would think if you took a balance sheet for the town, you should see a loan receivable from the fund, water fund, right?
Was it done in the fiscal year? Like, because I don't remember approving it later. Is it just done?
This was a Kristen
No,
thing, so
I know.
I'm gonna have to go back through her stuff and see if I can find out why.
Okay, but the point is, had you had conversation with the auditors on this, they just did it that
They
way?
just did
Because they saw the transfer. The question now becomes, did they do the right accounting for it? Which I
Correct.
hope they
And
did.
it doesn't look like they did though, because this is showing as part of an income statement, not a balance sheet.
Okay, yep. No, and that's why, let's ask. Let's ask.
May I make a comment on that?
Sure.
I'm not sure. I remember attending a meeting where they transferred the money. I don't remember why exactly. There may have been just what they felt like was a surplus. I don't know why it was an odd amount. But and if the state of Wyoming, they must allow that. And what my thinking was at the time, or in reviewing that, was there are costs that are incurred in the general fund that really are applicable to the water fund, and I thought maybe that was my reasoning, I guess, for not questioning it. And I think you're right, I don't think it was ever treated as a loan.
No.
And as long as statutorily, the town can do that with their general fund, which I think I'm guessing, but I think they probably can,
It's not
then it would not be
like grant.
would not have been a loan, would not have been recorded as such.
Here's what's interesting. Think back, why would they have transferred the funds to begin with instead of using the reserve that's for general purposes on the water side?
So
Because there's more than adequate funds there.
I don't know that this is the case, but just something I'm thinking out loud here.
Okay.
Because I was not in the know on a lot of stuff when I got here. But this section of road right here, this intersection to Cedar Creek was paved as part of a water improvement project. And it probably would have been about $300,000 to do that much. I don't know that that's the case, but I'm just thinking out loud that I don't know that you would have to do a loan doing it that way if it was a road pavement.
So it was expense, but again,
Possibly. I'm not saying that's what it was, but I do know that
Okay.
our engineer said we need to pave this section of road to protect the water. That's, could be an answer there, but I have no idea what was actually done there.
well, let's find out what the 300,000, if you can find something, let's start with that. And before we make a mountain out of a molehill.
Yeah,
Can't hardly hear.
we think
Can't
this
hardly hear.
happened, right, in fiscal '25, right? That's when this transfer happened?
Yeah.
Yeah, and I was talking to another town's attorney, another Wyoming town attorney, and he said, whenever there's a transfer between your water fund, it is a loan, like, period. Like, there's no exception, there's no only if or whatever. That's like, I said, that's for anything? And he's like, anything. Anytime there's a transfer, it's a loan.
Yep,
That's how it's
So-
supposed to be.
makes sense.
I
Okay,
remember seeing this, and I asked about it, I don't remember what point it was, whether it was a reporting or whatever, and I said, well, what is this? And it was never mentioned as loan.
well, let's take that as an action item and we'll get an answer. Okay?
That's what it was. Anyway, that's the thing on that one. I can go for another one or two if you want, or if somebody else has something, on it. Well, while we're kind of on the water, though, let me continue. Let me jump to 35. This is the, there it is. So the 500,000 restricted reserve we have in the water, which loan is that? Does anyone know exactly what loan that's related to? Is it the, back here, 44, maybe, or so. There's a list of all the loans here. I think it's part of this second one, the $1,250,713 from Wyoming Water Development. Is that that's the only one that's unique? All the others are the SLIB. Was that the one that requires us to have a 500,000 reserve?
Do you remember, Loretta?
untouchable?
It's the odd one, like all of our loans are with,
Oh,
Like,
it's with the other.
it's with the odd one.
Yes, it's with the one that's not named for all of those loans, grants. All of those are associated with one individual entity other than one. It's the odd one that's not named with all the other ones, or that's not the same.
All of them are Wyoming State Loan and Investments Board, except for the second one, which is $1,600,000 loan from the Water Development Commission.
Yeah, I think
That
that's,
one has a 4% interest rate, all the others are way down. And that's our longest term one. I guess something we can talk about at some point is, should we pay off that, as reserves get built up, should we pay off that 4% one and then we get that 500,000, pay it off early? But I didn't know if that's the one that also has the 500,000, we should refer to that on page 35. I know it mentions it several times, my memory's just not that good at holding.
I'm gonna take a look. I've got that on mine as well. I can tell you which one it is in a minute. Just keep going, keep going.
On page 46, that's the explanation, I think, of what we're supposed to have. Is that what we're talking about? Page 46.
46.
explains.
The detail, is that in the MD&A section that describes each
It's
one
the
of the
notes
loans?
of financial statements, page 46.
And then ours,
45, 46.
our
And
page,
Okay, now this is the 500,000, so right here, yeah, the Wyoming Water Development Commission, there you go, okay.
it's also the loan.
So that's the loan
made.
that's 2.5 percentage points more for that loan, it's a long term, so we'll be paying a lot over the next 20 years. And it's forcing us to keep that 500,000 tied up, so just a point to put out there, we should think about paying off that loan early as funds are available and getting out of that restriction.
Well, that was your question, wasn't it? Was that, can we pay it off? We don't have to borrow the money, we just have to have the money set aside, is that correct?
The 500. I mean,
Yes, sir.
it's based on having that loan.
But we don't
If you
have
get rid
to.
of the loan, then the 500,000 becomes
Right,
non-restricted,
right. Okay.
because you're basically
It's like
using it to pay off the loan.
Yeah, but, okay, I misunderstood the question.
But it's still, you think it's about $1 million,
Well, it says it's $1.2 million at fiscal year end.
$1.2 million.
$1.2 million, and it's the one from Wyoming Water Department. Everything else is from Wyoming
That's what I
State
was looking
Loans and
for.
Investments.
Yep.
That's on page 44 of the document.
You'll see it's the second one, the 4% interest rate matures June 2043.
Correct.
So,
Yep.
yeah.
So that was something I started wondering about. This schedule on, by the way, the schedule on 46, which is the outstanding debt by year, or the
Yes.
payoff amount.
That's it.
They did have it screw up there on their label claims, so you see 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, and then you got 30 to 34, so it looks like you're double counting 30, but you said that should be 31 to 35, 36 to 30, 40, 41 to 44.
Yeah, it goes into it goes in 5-year increments. Yep. That needs to be changed.
So, all right, so I have a chart, some charts I'll show a little bit later on that. Just keep going down. The only other thing that I pointed out was on page 55 to 58 of the audit. Overall, I thought it was pretty good, just a few things confusing me. 55 and 57. Okay, so here's page 50. And it says Public Works, so versus budget was $1,158,110,000, about the 7th number down, 7th number down, under expenditures, the Public Works, third line item under expenditures. Did we really overblow our budget that much? Later on, they talk about, and the auditor responded back, said, well, it's mostly streets or something. Maybe
So
down here somewhere.
You're talking, so it's page 55 of the audit report. And I think you're talking about Public Works where the original budget and final budget are 1.129, but the actual spending was
Yes.
2.2.
Whatever. Yep.
So we
2.2,
doubled,
yeah.
we
And
more than doubled the
gonna be
budget
capital.
in expenditures.
Oh, is it the bridge?
Well,
Okay. Loretta
Projects,
Loretta just said that it was the bridge cost.
we budget.
How much is $1
Separate.
million
The bridge
between the
one,
two
Two or something.
bridges?
we had complications with the bridge.
Yeah, so,
It was high.
The bids came in lower than what we had budgeted, so I was confused by that, showing that as variance.
because again, the expenditures on their list include CapEx, or capital, which would have included the
It was
two
budget.
bridges.
I'd have to go back and find old budget schedules and notes and things if I brought those files down here.
But they weren't, in this case, they weren't budgeted. Do you guys remember, Kirsten, do you remember if they were budgeted in the original budget for that
The
year?
bridge, are you talking about?
The two bridges, the $1 million.
Yeah, I believe it was. I mean,
600.
So then why would it
Budgeted.
show it was over budget?
Oh, but it
That's
was
a question.
done at a different time. Remember we had budgeted the year before?
Was
So
it
I
an
don't know if
addition?
that's why. I don't know if that's why, but.
Okay.
And it went over for something.
The auditor,
They didn't plan to pave it. I wasn't here when all that happened.
Okay, but that was an overage. The question is if they were included in the original budget, you wouldn't be over by $1 million, whatever it was, right?
158.
Yeah, yeah.
Really, that's really the only, I think the only audit issues I wanted to point out.
Okay.
that I had.
I don't know if it's because of the year before. I'm like trying to understand why it went that far.
Well, you're
Oh,
trying to
this
think
was-
back and saying,
oh.
didn't we have that in there? And I'm trying to
But
remember.
at one point, we were only doing one, two, or one of the bridges.
I just haven't had time to dig
So
back
that
in
might
my.
be
Remember that
part of
too.
it, so why it was-
Okay, maybe it wasn't in the
Mark.
third reading, I don't know. Okay. Well, if I can give you, let me,
And have any other audit pages they wanted to, issues they wanted to call out?
well, let me just cover a couple of things. I'm not going to go through the detail, but let me just get the FAB up to speed on some of the questions that I asked and the responses by the auditors. I thought they provided a fantastic response to each one of my questions, so it was great. Some of the things that I was looking at is how do we compare to other municipalities from a debt ratio standpoint and other things. Because we have put so much recent dollars into our infrastructure for water, guess what? We were on the high end of the leverage side, okay? Now, in 10 years from now, we'll be much, much lower because we're not replacing, all the money that we spent recently. But, they were saying that a lot of the municipalities that they deal with, the size of us as well, we're on the high end. So just take that as a given.
Did they give a percentage like an average or anything?
Let's see. No, they just basically said, in comparison was similar to or favorable or higher than, right? And in one case I said, well, do you have any concerns over this ratio? And they basically said the ratio of unrestricted net assets is not concerning.
Okay.
Okay, which is good. The other one is that I thought was interesting. They say in here that there's a review of the water rates modeling tool every year. Okay, so I just asked, well, who reviewed that? Did you guys review it first, the auditors? And if not, then, what are you doing? So he basically says, no one from our audit team has been reviewing the water rates modeling tool. We have verified discussion of this review by the town council in the meeting minutes. However, we have not reviewed the tool itself as part of the audit procedures. So he's asking, well, maybe in the future, maybe they should look at that and audit it. Because again, they're taking into account that, well, the formula's right.
So I'll just say that I found out recently, I got a friend, his wife, her dad passed away and she inherited a large water system. And she had all kinds of info, but Wyoming Rural Water has an underwriter who just does water rates based on your loans and everything. And we're a member of,
Okay.
so we get a 25% discount. It's expensive. Her guess was saying it's probably $7,500 is to $10,000. So that's what it would cost, but they would come in and look at everything and make recommendations if we're.
Something to think about.
Is that an annual thing that they would
We'll
go?
do it as often as you want them
Oh,
to.
really?
So it's a per time.
I think that if you had them do it though, your next year's would be significantly less, but that's an assumption.
Yeah.
Or you'd say, well, we'll skip a year because again, what did we change, right?
Yeah.
Maybe nothing. So, it's something to think about.
So,
Okay. I found that interesting. Another one was, let's see, go down through here. Absences, thank you. They are audited, they're reviewed in detail, so what we have on the balance sheet is accrued
Vacation.
absence, vacation, yes, it has been proven out, so that's really good. So So I asked, again, on the principal and interest, our debt, it is on the high side compared to other municipalities, as our SVR has more debt for water infrastructure. And I asked, in the back, I know nobody else probably saw this, but there's a term they use that says, or on the questionnaire at the very back, it says, is TSVR a low-risk auditee? Okay? And they put no. So I asked, well, what's the qualifications for that, just for education purposes? So it was pretty interesting. In order to qualify as a low risk, you have to have an audit of federal awards performed during each of the previous 2 years. And we're not eligible for that, bottom line. So
And be really happy about that.
I know. So
Yeah, any people who have to touch that would be really happy that there's no A133 on that one.
we do learn a lot of things in this process, and yes, so let's stay away from that. But anyway.
$1 million. You gotta stay under $1 million from the feds to get away with that.
So thank goodness. But anyway, so
Hey,
needless.
grants, what is that, $1 million from the feds? What kind of funds? Was that grants?
Yeah, any funding you get, whether either, Trevor mentioned
The federal,
well, yeah, I mean, even if they flow through the state, right? So even if the Fed gives the state money and the state then says, here's Star Valley Ranch, here's $1 million, that's gonna kick you into the A133, also called a single audit.
Okay.
And you don't wanna be there, not because there's anything wrong with it. One, it's gonna up your audit costs tremendously, and two, it's gonna put a tremendous burden on, on our employees.
so
who have
a
to do
wonderful
that.
question to ask is, as we fill out these grants now, there's a federal build grant for road construction and everything. Let's make sure that doesn't tip the scale over. Wade Hershey could probably answer that for us, I would think. I would hope.
And it's not, I mean, I'm not saying don't get a grant just because of that. I'm saying you have to, I've had nonprofits decide not to go after grants because it's gonna kick them into that, and their audit costs would be more than what the grant was
Right.
worth to them.
Yeah, and your
So-
internal, man hour stuff to track it is.
And let's
Right.
verify that. That's fantastic.
Yeah.
Okay.
So it just recently jumped up to $1 million. It was 750,000, so
Wow.
$1 million in the last year, I'm gonna say.
Really.
Last October,
Okay.
I think it kicked
Well-
up a year ago.
Let's, we'll do some more homework. Now, that's a good one. Okay. Anyway, those were the ones that I think were of interest or would be of interest to everybody. So Rand, that's all I had.
Anybody else have anything different that they picked up on and want to highlight?
For questions.
I have a nitpicking one, on page number 30.
Can you go to 30, Rand? Page 30?
It's this one here. Is that John? Where at in there?
Okay, hold on. Probably Julie could start out with the answer in
Oh,
this.
no.
On the depreciation in the middle,
Uh-huh.
is it normal to have water lines
Yeah.
being depreciated at 50 years?
You know, had you asked me about any of those other three lines, I could have answered really definitively.
I
This
know.
is the only place I deal with water, so I don't know. But I'm assuming
But
that.
John, as soon as I came on this, I looked at that for the budget, and yes, it's normal 50 years. They are 50, actually, they project that they'll last 60 to 70 years, but the depreciation life is 50
So
years.
that means that for depreciating them at 50 years, our lines are all galvanized steel, is that right?
No.
I'm just asking the question because I wonder who, number one, who decided it was, and number two, I agree, I don't think they are galvanized steel, I think they're more
C900, it's like a PVC type.
PVC.
high-end.
And did you happen to know off the top of your head
What's the useful
what
life?
PVC is?
Well, the C900, that's what they give is expected 50-year life.
Okay.
And the IRS usually dictates, has a say
Yeah.
in the depreciable.
Yeah.
Because those
It has
aren't
to be
just.
depreciable.
yeah.
I'm just saying that
It's-
when I looked at it, I said, that doesn't seem right. And so I looked it up.
I
Damn.
about fell out of my chair when I saw that, because I never had
I
seen
don't-
anything
yeah,
but
I
a
don't-
building that was
Yeah, the
39
longest
and a
I've
half
ever
years.
seen was, yeah.
How about 100 years for PVC? But what my point was, the effect on our, because cash flow, I was worried about cash flow, that's what got me started, and so I thought what they throw out cash flow. But on the other hand, I was just thinking, okay, so that was, one of them I had was just being a pill. Or something other word that starts with a P. And I thought, when you were discussing about the bridges, that I thought that was a transfer of money that we held in reserve, and then when we did the bridges, so are we saying that the bridges were $100,000 more than what we thought they were gonna, excuse me, $1 million more than what we thought they were gonna be?
I don't recall being $1 million more, that's why.
They always thought they'd be 500 to 600,000 feet, and that's why there was a lot of debate back then about.
Because I came up with those, I looked at those same numbers, because I read your epistle, the one that's in red and blue, and I said, that's really weird, that they just add them across and not, and so I would have thought for that amount of money, we would have, the council would have, said, it would change the budget. Once they
Like
moved
amended it.
once they authorized moving the money from the reserve to current year, then the budget would have said, then they would have changed the budget. Sorry, Rand, I guess it slipped by us, we should have been watching. So, I'm just saying that's what I'm,
After the fact is what you're.
That's just for everything that we
Well,
read back then.
like we're doing with the
Right.
snow gates, and I'm wondering,
But I
Maybe
think
it never
what
happened.
happened is that it didn't get done the year that we
Yeah,
had
so it was
actually,
carried into the next year.
yeah. So I think, so we wouldn't have amended anything, it would just have gone into the next budget year. But I'm not, like, I know that we were at one point doing one of them, and then it became two. But I'm trying to,
but even
understand
that
why
wouldn't be
it's
the
that much
million
more.
plus,
Yeah.
right? It just has to not be in that. Let's go to the number that's in this chart for the budget. That may have been the original budget, not an amended budget, because again, we have to be careful on our side when we put the snow gates in. That is our budget now. It's the new budget, it's not the original. And so that may have been the miss.
So did the auditors just miss catching it, that they put preliminary or whatever, budget and final budget the same numbers? Do we just need to have them check in
Well,
to see
that's
if
what I
final
wonder.
budget needs to be changed?
See, but I don't know if it went through a 3 amendment process either. I mean, I attended a lot of meetings, I just can't remember.
Oh, it wasn't amended though, but I.
I remember us talking about a lot.
Three readings.
On
for
the page 58, the last paragraph, the last sentence, this is what caught my thing on that. For the year ended June 30th, the town was compliant with all budgets with no funds exceeding budget expenditures. I said, well, that's different than what I saw on the other page for the public works. And so the auditor came back and says, okay, we're gonna scratch that last sentence off of the one you guys will see next week.
That's how we correct it. We don't explain it, we just take that away.
all I can
I said, we
think
did
of,
exceed the budget, and this is what they're gonna file with the state, so
But it's interesting for us, because we're looking at a number and we're going, it's $1 million higher. How did we get to that state,
I was trying to think if they attached.
sure, it was in the
anything
budget, like you said, it
to
might not have been the
the
final or
project
something.
too, but I don't think we did, so
That's
is it
what they
possible
need
the
to
number is
raise.
wrong? Like that they took it from the year.
I'm up to my eyeballs with HOA stuff right
Majority of that
now,
number. They're not
but
saying
probably
the
got
whole
some old files on the computer.
It's
in
the,
the
they
file.
said the majority of that number is the bridges.
Rand, what we'll do, we're gonna take a look at it. I'm sure we can just take a 5 minutes and see if we can figure it out, okay? But,
my point being, it sticks out like a sore thumb.
Absolutely.
And if I can catch it, and you guys caught it long before I did,
well,
that you would, and if this goes to the state, they're gonna say, what the hell?
Yeah.
That's a
well,
big difference.
when the auditors come in here next Tuesday, This is a key question to ask, and we can even preface it beforehand, but, it doesn't make sense.
I mean, I'm gonna see if I can't even just like bring up the budget from.
Okay, from the
Yeah,
24, 25?
Yeah.
Okay.
And I just
All right.
wanted, one more comment.
Because if the original
That-
budget tied to
that-
that 1.2,
this-
then we know it didn't include the bridges.
Right.
Yeah.
I don't know, is he looking, can you see this? Yeah, the red, white, and blue, page was excellent, and, I was really impressed with that. And, I'll have to admit that the first thing I read was the internal controls, and I think that that's I would say, a real pat on the back to our staff. The internal controls, are really a compliment, so.
You're referring to that risk assessment packet?
Yeah. Yes.
Yeah, that was good, brother. If we do those things, and that's what
Yeah, well,
the FAB may want to be called upon to do some spot audits, fresh eyes, here and there, public works, or accounting, payables, or whatever, just to see if the process is being followed from time to time. The accountants will request, others request, whatever. Okay, anything else on audit? Anybody else have anything?
keep going.
I want to use some of this data when we get to the new business and show some charts that put together. But I think Trevor wanted to get to 5 o'clock, and he wanted to, if we move on to the next, I don't think there's any old business, is there?
No.
So the next item under C is new business from the mayor and council. I think he wanted to bring up something about annexation.
So I just want to at least start people thinking in a direction. Basically what we're doing right now is finding facts to see if this is in the town's best interest or not. And this group would be very, very key in helping the town determine that. So I just had a list of notes, and I'm sorry I didn't get it to everybody. But there are just a few things, and I will send it to whoever didn't get it, you two, I'm sure. But there are some things out there to consider for annexation that I need to work to get a number of these answered. But some of the main things I'd like you to look at are the water fees. Right? Our base fee, our access fee is $28.50, and our meter fee is $68.50. So Mountain Estates has 68 residential lots, and then they have 52 townhomes. So that's 120 total. And I'm assuming that each townhome, it's a multifamily lot, but it's gonna have a meter pit per lot. So each residence.
So the fourplex would have 1 meter pit. Is that, no, you'd have 4
Yeah. you have
in
four.
there.
Because otherwise, how can I say, if I
Right.
need to shut your water
Yeah,
off
you
and it's
can't.
the 4, so I think that it has to be.
Has
4
to be.
units.
Right.
You guys.
You make four main connections for 4 unit.
Yeah, you'd have to,
So you can shut water
Seems
off to
more.
1 unit at a
Yep.
time.
at a time.
I don't see another way around that.
Okay.
And for billing,
Mhm.
everybody has
You
responsible.
gotta have,
Way to shut the water off, unless there's a one main
So each one need a meter?
contractor, some force up on his own.
Needs its own meter pit.
Have to go shut the water
Because
off.
otherwise,
Oh, yeah, no, good point. I was just clarifying.
yeah.
so.
Okay.
So when you say consider those, are you just like, this would be additional income? Is that what you're saying when you say
Yeah.
consider that? Okay.
Because there's infrastructure that needs to go in, and if it doesn't make sense financially, then the town has no interest in considering any type of.
So the tap-on revenue associated with how many units? 100, 20?
At
120
$7,500
times 7,500,
a piece.
$900,000 roughly. So.
okay,
but
that helps us a little bit.
It does, but see, the build out too to consider is,
Yeah.
it's way long, it's like 2058 or something like that, so that is not day one.
Really?
That
Yeah.
comes in
Good point.
incrementally.
Who has to put all the water lines into that subdivision?
So the developer will have to put all the water lines into our specifications. It'll be our engineering office that oversees that and does the inspections and makes sure that it's to what we want.
So do they do it from the houses or the townhomes, like, kind of like we do here? Or, so it wouldn't be the water lines throughout the subdivision, it would be,
No,
it would be those two.
Yeah, there's no water, I don't know what the cap for water is, but
Yeah.
anything they're gonna build out would have to come off our water system in.
Okay.
Ryan Welling, our engineer, would design that, and they would have to pay for it. We're not,
But will we do it? Do you know what I mean, like, how,
it'll most likely be contracted out.
okay,
I mean, our guys could do it, but if we're renting equipment, we're not doing other stuff while we're.
Right.
you know.
So it'd be very clear, if the annexation, if it was ever to be granted, he's got to do all of these things, and that's why you're building this list that says, hey,
Yeah.
this is 1, 2, 3, 4, 12,
Mhm.
50 different items, right?
Trevor, can you go over that? Was 62 single
Um,
family lots?
68 residential lots.
68, okay?
52 townhomes.
52 of the,
and that's him paying for
those
it,
four
we
units,
would be able
13
to.
units.
And so 15
give a
townhomes
contract to
divided
have the water
by
right
4
there.
with all the
Four.
buildings,
Yes.
right?
Yeah, we
Yes.
have to approve every,
yes,
everything
it would
we
be,
build out.
what,
It's
52
our-
divided by,
It's our specification, it's not theirs.
Okay,
so 12, 12. But
And
he's
if we
already
can't come
got
to terms
one.
on it, then hey,
yeah,
sorry.
yeah.
No, for the entire distribution system, correct?
One is included in that. Is the one current fourplex included in those numbers?
So there is, let's see, I got that down there somewhere.
If not, I mean, it's not a big deal, I was
Yeah,
just
it
curious.
is included, yeah.
Okay,
So there's 51 more to be built.
Yeah, townhomes 1 through 4 are already completed.
okay,
Townhomes 5 through 8 are scheduled to be built in 2026.
okay.
5 through 8 in 2026?
Yep, and single-family lots 28 to 33, which is their phase 1, is scheduled to be built in 2026 as well. Now, that's their master plan with the county, and that could change if during this process, the town council can approve whatever is, change the dates or whatever.
Okay.
So lots 28 through 33, that, when you say that, right, that's the lot number or whatever?
Mhm, yeah.
28 through 33. And then, so one is built, one townhome is built, and you're talking about, they are talking about building 5 through 8 in 2026.
Yeah, so that's one more fourplex.
Mhm.
And then lots, and I'll send you this, I just didn't get it to the two of you and Mr. Wilson either, but lots 23 to 27 and lots 39 to 42 are their phase 2. And that's scheduled to be built from 2029 to 2033.
And did you list in there under your questions, I thought I saw it that you were like, if it's a different year, can we reevaluate the
Yeah,
cost?
those
Okay.
are, so that's my thought is
Yeah.
if the town annexes this in and then in 10 years they start phase whatever,
Right.
if our fees went up, their fees should match that.
So
Okay.
six houses
Yeah,
built,
makes sense.
6 houses built in 26, right?
They're scheduled
28,
to be-
29, 30, 31, 32, 33, single family or whatever it was.
Yeah.
So it was 6,
And that is only part of their county master plan right now.
Okay.
It's that.
okay.
So,
Hmm.
so I really need a lot of eyes on this to make sure we don't miss some things.
Yeah.
But all fees associated with this are on the developer.
For water, okay?
For everything. from
Well, roads
to-
as well.
Mhm.
So you were just referring to water, so I just
Mhm.
check, but roads as well.
All these would be helpful to look at, divide them into upfront costs and investment costs, or, and ongoing
Yeah.
expenses or revenue on either side, upfront revenue or expense, or fees, and then ongoing revenue and
Yeah,
expense.
annual.
And so the fourplexes would count as 4, 4 times 750, 7,500.
Yes. The way
You
we,
have an individual meter tap into the water line and you shut off, turn it on, whatever.
Yeah.
I think so.
so it took me a bit to understand this too, but from Ryan, let me see, maybe I didn't throw it on this list, but we have there's a couple of fees. Okay, so Ryan's estimate, he's updating some stuff right now and that's due on the 15th, but a 3/4 inch connection impact fee to go into our water system.
Mhm.
So that's every connection to every residence is $3,500. If you times that by 120, it's 420,000. And again, that's not day one, that's
Yeah,
as
it's-
they come.
Yeah,
Well, actually, I think on this,
gradual.
this would be day one, these two things.
So he would do it all at the beginning instead of
I think-
doing a phase 4 later?
Yeah, the connection impact fee and the plant investment fee,
Okay.
that's $8,000 per lot.
And don't we do 1 inch now, even though we haven't
We,
I thought
we,
that's what Zach had mentioned.
we looked at it because we thought it was gonna be cheaper. It puts a bigger drain on your water system though.
Okay.
It's actually pretty significant when, a quarter inch doesn't sound like much, but when you have times,
Right, oh, yeah. Like that, or is that where it's going into that house?
1,200
Because I
people
thought that's
or
what
homes.
Zach had said, that we were starting to do 1 inch, but is that just on that small portion going into the house?
they can put whatever they want on their side.
Okay.
But we were gonna do 1 inch meter pits because they were more readily available and it was gonna be cheaper. And then they
Okay.
came back and actually said recently that it was gonna be $250 more per meter pit.
Okay,
So we said, no, we're staying with 3/4.
yeah, okay.
Now, if they wanna do 1 inch line, so it's 3/4 on our side and 1 inch on theirs, there's an adapter for like $5 and they can do that. It actually gives them less pressure though.
Yeah, oh, yeah, I
Yeah.
think so, quite a bit.
So are they using, would they be tapping into our current water, or are they using their own?
Well,
If they're annexed, they would be on our water system. And that's why this is important, the connection fee, the connection impact fee, and the plant investment fee, which is $8,000 per lot. 8,000 times 120 is 960,000. Those are upfront costs.
Well, my question is, has there been a study to make sure that we can support them?
Yes, Ryan did some initial work, and they have their own study with Sunrise Engineering, not necessarily to connect to our water, but putting those two together, Ryan actually is reviewing that now, and he'll have better data for us by the 15th.
when you think about our growth, we're gonna go from 1,200 homes. We have another 800 that aren't built
Right.
out yet.
Right,
This would be another 120
right.
on
10%.
top of our, yeah, that's,
10% of
I'm
our-
going down the same path you are.
I thought
What is our
in that,
capacity?
I thought
Form that was with the application, everything that, Ryan did, that he did state we would be short. Is he
So,
wanting
full build
actual-
out, yeah. Full build
For
out.
us?
Yes.
Not including that, right?
Yeah.
Okay,
So that, there's the other questions of, we do have infrastructure, delivery line, water tank that needs to be updated. How does this help pay for those things? So that's kind of the questions we need to answer, and if it doesn't make sense, then
So if you needed the capacity, having a bigger tank would solve it, but the costs associated with a, 3 million gallon tank or whatever, would be expensive. Okay,
yeah. So
okay.
Ryan's working on all this stuff. I just wanted to plant the seeds here, go over some initial stuff. I'll send you my notes. These are just notes, so I want you to add to them. I want you to add questions.
Yeah, my big question is like, I just need to know where the water's coming from. Like, that's what I'm scared about. Like, it's one thing to have the money to build our tanks. If you don't have any water coming into them,
So
that would be my concern. Because I thought when this was, rumor, I thought when this was addressed last time, that was the big bugaboo, was there's no way that our water supply can handle that many more.
No, there will need to be additional wells or something, and that is not, that's my.
Here's an addition to that, if you like. So we've got 2,100 lots now as a town, and all those lot owners, the 900 lots that are not built on, they have an expectation that they will have a water supply. So if we let somebody else in to hog up 120 of those, it's gonna make it tougher on the people who
Yeah.
we really owe water to, and are already part of the town. You know what I'm saying? So-
Agreed.
These are
If
the,
that number 20,099 shows up and he can't get any water because we annexed 120 minutes.
if he goes forward, I mean, regardless of the annexation, I'm assuming he's gonna go forward with the development. If he goes forward with the development, he is gonna be consuming some amount of the water that would normally be ours, right? Because the well that he does have up there is gonna consume some, I don't know if he's gonna have enough capacity in that one well, but.
But then it doesn't become a
Maybe-
No, I agree 100%, and that's why lay it out.
Yep.
Yep.
A whole nother meeting, because I don't know why he wants to be annexed unless he doesn't have water he can get on his own.
Yeah, and just initial conversations with Ryan, our engineer, is the well they have up there is not adequate
For that,
building that out.
yeah.
So that's the thing, is in considering, is there an asset the town would assume that would offset some of this cost or not? Do additional assets need to be put in there that are the developer's responsibility and not ours? So the well that's currently there, if I understand this right, it's in a different aquifer than our three wells here. Ours are deeper and it's a bigger aquifer. I don't know how to explain the difference and how I'm not a geologist or an engineer, but these are the questions we need on a list, and I've got a big list of them at the end here, and I'll send it all to you. But I want you to read this and look for what we need. Add questions
The
here.
questions that we all need to have and have addressed.
And look at the math here, just this has to make sense for the town, or otherwise it's not even a conversation. Now, obviously.
Throwing more than that, I see Trevor's got property taxes mentioned, but I don't see anything on sales tax. We get a big chunk of revenue from sales tax based on population within each municipality. So in Wyoming, they do it on the 10-year census.
That's only if people claim, that's another problem, right? If we'd have to have all of our, we'd have to have people claim Star Valley as their residents in those census. Some of them do for reasons that they shouldn't, some of them do when they shouldn't, and some of them should when they don't.
Yeah, good point.
Some of them should, some of them do when they shouldn't, and some of them don't when they should.
Yeah.
2020, there was a big effort to try to get everybody to claim that as a resident, so boost the census numbers up. But the problem is if you put in expense now, you can't recover any sales tax. That's the biggest revenue source until 2031.
All right.
The way that Arizona gets around that is they passed Arizona Revised Statute 42-5033-01, which allows municipalities to use the census estimate for state allocations. And that's probably something, if anybody talks to legislatures in Wyoming, that would take a look at doing, especially for growing communities and expanding communities. That helps them get the revenue faster. But that, again, that's part of another longer meeting.
So basically, we need to get this, take a look at the list, add to it, use this document going forward, okay, on where we need to
Yeah, and
dig in.
ideally, we'll have some type of document for review, probably just a rough draft by the end of this month. Now, it's a lot on me with, no expertise in this area. I'm just gonna throw that out there. So
Okay.
that's why I'm asking for your help, but I will send you these documents by the end of tomorrow.
So you're not looking for answers, you're looking for what questions do we need answered?
Well, I do need some
Considerations,
answers from this
issues.
group as, does this look like it might be feasible or not? And I mean, the taxes, it's pretty hard to calculate not knowing exactly how fast things get there.
Yeah, he seems a lot more bullish on the Star Valley Ranch residential build than I am currently, but he's a builder, I'm not, so.
Well, yeah.
Anything you see, I'm saying please help, because
Okay.
we need a lot of eyes on this.
Okay.
We appreciate it. We know you have to leave at 5, do you? Still?
I actually
Oh, okay.
moved that meeting, so, yeah, but this is what I want to throw out there, and I'll get more info, and please comment.
Fantastic.
One more question on that. As I remember, you guys, your work about working with the Department of Revenue, State of Wyoming, was it you or Rand? I don't remember. And what you just said, is there any way to, because there's, in the paperwork we got, and what your research said, is that there will be a decrease in sales tax revenue. That's the projection that I understood. Okay, is there any way that we can require that if we do have people like this coming in, that they have to sign a statement that they will use their residence as Star Valley Ranch? Is there any, have you ever heard of anything like that?
I don't know if we're allowed to do that.
I don't think we're allowed to do that either. Because I think it determines on where you spend, what, 156 days out of the year or something, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And a lot of people do it for the income tax. A lot of people will live, like,
I'm shocked.
I know, right? A lot of people will live in Utah, come up here for 3 weekends a month, literally 3 weeks a month, 3 weeks a year,
And they claim.
and claim that Wyoming, and they'll get Wyoming license plates and say, well, I'm a Wyoming resident. So now if their payroll was paying attention and doing the right thing, it wouldn't matter, but.
But you see what my point?
Yes, but I don't think we can do that. I think we just need to encourage people who are
Because
legally up here a long time.
What happened with a number of my students is that they were, the police would drive through the parking lots and pick out Idaho plates, which of course are significantly less than Wyoming plates. And my students were going, man, they were madder than a hatter. Well, I got a P.O. box in Victor. Oh, and that ain't gonna fly, guys.
So, yeah, the Wyoming law says immediately upon employment, you have to have Wyoming plates. If you're not employed, you have a year. But that's,
A lot, you were probably one out there bothering my students.
it was, yeah.
But I'm just saying, that I didn't know how to carry that over.
Well, for payroll tax, it's literally where are you sitting when you earn that money? That's how it's supposed to go. So if, me splitting my time, not even splitting, because that's not bad, me spending this last year, I don't know, 20 days in Colorado, I literally will be taxed that 20 days as Colorado.
Yep.
And I tell my income tax accountant that.
Tell my son about that. He
Well,
was
I'm just
pissed as
telling you,
hell.
that's how if he were to be audited, that's how the state would look at it. Like, so I call it where, I say something different, but it's where are you present when you earn that money? And for, all but 20 days out of the year, I'm sitting in Star Valley Ranch, Colorado, but for 20 days, my income is going to be taxed as if I was sitting in Colorado because I actually was. Like, I was in the state of Colorado, so I will owe Colorado income tax on 20
Utah's
days.
exactly the same way for
It's
me.
that's exactly how that's how it is. And that's why conventions and everything else tend to go to Nevada and Florida and Texas, because traveling salespeople, I always use Kobe Bryant, God rest his soul. Kobe Bryant had to fill out tax returns for every state he played in that had income tax, because his salary is so high that California, he lived in California, but let's say Utah, when he came to play the Utah Jazz, Utah's like, we want our 2 days that you were here playing, we need that money.
They
And
do
he had
that
to- he
for
filled-
every
yes,
athlete.
For every athlete, they do that, and traveling salespeople are supposed to be the same way.
Yep,
So,
which,
California will tax day one, some states will give you 3 days, some states will give you 10. California is like day one, you're in here an hour, we want an hour of your wages, taxed.
Well, think about all those Toronto Blue Jays
Right.
playing in the World
Yes.
Series.
Yeah.
well,
God.
people going into Canada have to do the same thing.
Yes, yeah.
So, it's,
Well, I didn't
yeah.
understand, in going back, and another thing, these are, I'm just start making a list of what you're talking about, and I see additional labor in every one of these things that we're doing. How do we factor that in?
It's a good question, but I'm talking to Ryan, he thinks we need one more water employee. I don't know at what point though, for 4 houses, no, for 10, 20, 30, when does that come in?
Yeah,
I gotta get more info from him, but
yeah.
that's.
I'm trying to get Loretta some paid help.
Well,
You see what I'm saying?
yeah.
I think that has to enter the discussion somewhere if it hasn't, and I would budget for it anyway to go along those lines. So shut up, John. Sorry, Loretta.
All right, Rand, back to you.
Any new business? I've got a couple of things I wanted to show, but does anybody else before that have any other things they want to raise up, FAB issues, concerns, requests, things you're curious about looking into, and so forth?
Nope.
Go ahead and walk through your charts.
I mentioned one before I get to that, the spot audits. I'd be curious in doing some spot audits of internal controls. Like I mentioned, I'll just put that down in the point. Let me see if I can. Okay, does this one pop up?
We're still seeing
In a
the
different
agenda.
view? Okay. Yep,
Nope.
technologist, calling them technologists too. To change to another document?
Come over here to this, to Chrome.
Stop sharing, hold on.
Now, go to
After that, it's
Chrome,
only 3 steps.
your screen,
Share screen,
and now choose which screen you want in window.
window, I never remember all this. Okay, this is one I want to show. All right,
Hope I never get.
I made a chart here for data, and what it is the loan payments. You don't need to study these numbers. I took loan payments and projected revenues and so forth, but what I wanted to show up here is, here's a chart of estimated water revenues. We had 1.7 million last year. And if we were to grow that at 2.5% over the next 20 years, the blue line will show how that increases. The red line, just in this version of the chart, is the debt service, the loan payments that we have to make and how that decreases over time. So you can see we're starting to, without including any operating expenses or new capital projects, or even grants in the revenue, frankly, there's a $35 million accumulation effect. And how that reflects down here is the percentage of debt of the revenues that would result from that. So you can see just visually how the debt starts to fall off.
So Rand, when
I
you're
wanted to
talking,
also-
oh, sorry, when you're talking about the increase F 2.7, are you just going off of the cost of, like, the COLA, and that's what it was last year, or that's what it's been for a while?
Just using a
Using
2.5%.
a 2.5, yeah, 2.5.
Okay,
Just using a conservative 0.5% increase in water rates every year, you see how that line ramps up. You
Yep.
see how our debt service required costs are down below. There's another version of it down here, which includes the orange line, the second line from the bottom, and that's if I increase our operating costs 3%.
This is the,
Even at a
this is
faster
the
rate.
important.
And if you combine the increase in operating costs with the reduction in loan payments, you get the middle line, which is red, which is almost basically flat, it's still taking off. So even if we throw all of our operating costs in, 3% annual growth, combined with revenues at only 2.5% growth, it still grows into a huge reserve over the next 20 years. So why do I want to look at this? I think there's some things we can do with that or think about or argue about. One, I think we can reduce the annual rate increases, slow the growth, make things more affordable for residents. Or we can provide a minimum number of gallons included in our base rates, like every other municipality in Wyoming does. We charge for gallon number one on top of our $67, $68 thing. Or we could retire that $1.25 million debt that's 4% water development commission loan that lasts until 2043 and requires us to hold $500,000 of the picture. And we could eliminate the nuisance fees, such as our total $7,000 budget shut off and turn-on fee, kind of simplify things to just the big picture, provide residents the service that they used to give as a courtesy, and which in Arizona, by the way, the courtesy shut-offs during normal business hours for turnaround. Or some other ideas there, but I think a lot of people are becoming concerned that the water rate is creating this huge reserve without any real purpose. It's inflationary. And we're not sure what the reasons for it are unless we do something rational with some of it. So I just wanted to point that out. I don't know if anybody else has similar feelings.
Well, let me, I won't play devil's advocate, I'll just play the other side. The concern is that we need cash, okay, or reserves for potentially storage tanks, new tanks, whatever. I mean, that could cost a lot of money. Now, the argument to counter that is go get grants.
Exactly.
The grants are drying up.
Yeah.
It is more competitive now. than it's ever
drying
been.
up water, get it?
But
We'll try.
yeah, but understanding what that next 10 years, because again, this is going to drop in 10 years, 12 years, it's going to drop off like a cliff. Are we going to replenish that same level of capital in the next 10 years after that? I mean, if we have to replace meters every 10 years, guess what? $500,000 now, but it'll go up with the cost of living. But again, it's not going to consume the kind of money that blue line makes. However, it's understanding everybody likes to have savings. I'm a big believer in savings. So it's understanding how you would tell people, educate people on what this would look like. Because that's the
These
tricky
public statements, as this surplus grows and grows and grows, how you can explain this to people who look at these public budgets and things like that? And
It'd be harder to get grants too, I would imagine, if you have a large surplus there. They'd be like, why do you need it if you have?
And that's what the state tells us, is you
Right.
can't go over a certain amount, you can't apply.
Right. So
So I just wanted to put this picture out there for something to think about, talk about.
So it's my recollection, I was brand new when we started going through the budget last year. I was brand new to this committee. And as I recall, we requested no increase in the water rates, but the water board did. And they, for lack of a better term, they won out because it happened, right?
We agreed with the
We tried to
CPI.
find a happy medium.
Okay.
Right,
Because
between
ours was,
no-
I thought our recommendation was 0, and we made it work.
But theirs was, what, 2%? I think did, or something.
We did the
went about
CPI.
halvesies. Yeah. It
I
was
think they
about-
wanted $3 on each, the $28 per.
It was 50 cents on the $28. It went from $28 to $28.50, which is just the CPI cost.
Yeah, and that was 2.7 last year,
Yeah.
so, or something like that.
Yep, that's why. And we rounded to the nearest half dollar, right? We didn't want to have something that was $28.58, right? So, or $68 and whatever, 50 cents, so. But again,
Now, my personal, on this is we have to show a little more constraint until we figure out whether we really need it. We're still got a huge surplus right now. If we kept them flat. If we kept revenue flat, the blue line would still generate, you know, 300,000 a year of net profit moving forward. It would kind of parallel the median, the red line in the middle, is net of expense. So we're actually growing. So
our money maker is the $68. Because if you look at the amount you pay for your water, how much water you actually consume, what is it, 10 extra dollars a month? It's peanuts compared to the $68 as a percentage.
Yeah.
And I've got all this data now in the last 3 years of what consumption has been for every lot on the ranch. And it's real interesting to see your highest 25, 30 lots, huge yards, and they consume a lot of water. But they're still being charged a very small amount for that usage, besides the base fee of that usage. And you're sitting there, well, maybe there should be a tier in there. Like if you exceed X number of gallons, but again, you're penalizing people that didn't have anything to, I mean, they bought the house potentially with the big yard, they were used to the utilities, and now you're saying, well, now we're gonna you gotta be careful.
They're doing that with our electricity though, so,
I
mean,
get it. Did you like that though?
No.
I don't.
And I especially didn't like, and oh, by the way, here's another 2%. Like,
Yeah.
I get it, and I understand why they have to do it, and I
Yes.
support that. But, and I mean, I think Denver
tough.
did the same thing with their water, is you had tiers, like,
Yeah.
and it would behoove people and us in general, right? To pull out the all grass big yards and put in native grass and, you know, not so much. I mean, that would
It
help
wouldn't make it as
everybody.
pretty, but it would.
Well, I don't know that you could say that. I think there's some really pretty
I
natives.
hate weeds.
There's no weeds.
No, you
No,
go
also
over
have
here and look at all
tier-
these yards that don't have yards. Oh, you mean put all gravel in?
No, not necessarily. You could do some xeriscaping that is absolutely planned and not weeds.
Not on
like
my 1
natives.
acre lot, you could.
Okay, well, you could
It's
on my
too
little
big.
tiny one.
I know, but that's the point, is not every lot's created equal. I get
that.
it.
But I mean,
I get it.
that tiered, we may have to go to
Yes.
that, because if you're deciding you're going to use a bunch more water,
And you've done a lot of research, Loretta, on all the municipalities in Wyoming and what they've done with their rates,
Yes.
right? Okay. It's really good data. So if we wanted to take a look at that, anybody can. I don't
I mean,
know.
By the way, here's
electricity is gonna, I mean, I realize we're
Water.
cheap, but it's gonna keep going up. Like, when you talk about affordability, like, it's gonna get, like, everything's gonna keep going up.
Yes.
Obviously.
Yeah.
And it'll be really interesting to see if our weather continues like it is, I wanna know what the water situation come August 1st looks
That's a
like.
good question, because, I mean, I've never seen a winter like this, and what happens?
Right, well, yeah, exactly. This may
Has
be
it
a
happened?
really telling, like, this may be our, this is only gonna happen once. Well, is it? I mean,
Aha
is it?
moment.
I don't trust that. I don't trust somebody telling me that.
Yes.
My other question was on the $7,000 annual shut off, and I think we answered this last time too, but I just have to know, what is the labor to do that?
It's not $7,000 to turn the water off annually.
No, it's the annual amount we
Oh,
generate.
we generate.
Yeah.
Okay,
Oh, that
I'm
we
sorry. I was
generate.
like,
It makes
yeah,
it
no,
sound
it's
like
No,
we're
no, no.
charging people that.
No,
Okay.
it's everybody, that's the fees that are collected.
Okay.
Sorry.
So it depends on how much is on a weekend, like after hour service or whatever,
Okay.
those are
Right.
emergencies.
Okay, I literally read that as we are charging people $7,000 to go turn off their water for the winter.
No,
Okay, and it freaks
If
me
you
out.
leave, they charge $50 now to turn it off, when you come back, they charge $50 to turn it on.
Annual fee
Turn it off.
collection. Yeah.
Okay, so I mean, we are trying to recoup some labor cost on
And
that.
they say it's all together, so they say, well, we're coming out on Thursday, on 8:30 or 8:45.
And I've been told
15
in
minutes.
years past, which I wasn't here, but I've been told by the public works that when it was in cost, people would, I'm going out for the weekend, so come turn it off and turn it back on.
Oh.
So the request went way up. And I wasn't here, but that's what.
Yeah.
Funny, but
You-
it used to be a free service
Understood.
in Arizona during normal hours. Anyway, but I was gonna mention Arizona does have the tiered water rates, and every bill says, please conserve, please conserve. And I run the HOA here. We took all of our grass out and put desert scaping in, so we don't have to water anything, and save a ton of money. So there's efficiencies you can do if you're driven by the tiered rates. Don't want to spend money on the same discretionary thing if you have a big yard, I guess. But I think it makes sense too. It also makes sense to have a base number of gallons included in the base rate, so that people have an incentive to live within that.
Try to conserve.
We do want them to conserve, but we also want to be
So it's-
fire-wise.
Totally agree.
protected.
So there's a fine line there, but I think we can do more than what we're doing today.
Yeah.
Whatever that looks like. So, yeah. All right,
You know,
Rand.
one of the questions I've got, it still goes back to, where, are we losing water or are we not? And until all the meters get in and all, everything gets real, then we'll have something hopefully that we can depend on. Because we were losing a lot of water to people that were using water that weren't even getting charged for it. What are we, we're kind of blind as far as I'm concerned in this. Yeah, we know that. We don't have a real baseline.
What is the meter program status of you guys that are up there?
What was the what?
The meter status. Just tell them what the replacement meters for the large meters and then the residential.
So the large meters are here today, and Dan with Corman came in just to talk about it. The guys are gonna go out hopefully tomorrow and measure the lay length, meaning here's the meter, is it 6 inches of pipe? And then whatever's off, they can 3D print, or they can provide us up to 4 inches or make a special one, but it's very low cost. So we're hopefully gonna get the large meters in, hopefully by the end of the month.
Okay. But it'll happen in the next couple of months, guaranteed.
Yeah.
Okay.
We
Okay.
we kind of held off on the signing the big major contract. It was approved by the council, the mayor signed it yesterday, and I'll get it in by the end of the week. And we were just discussing, how do we want these to come? We don't want 1,000 meters showing up at once, because that's just a nightmare. So we're gonna do 250 or 300 at
In
once,
Okay.
maybe starting in March. But I need to call Zach Edwards at home and make sure that.
Well, the way the weather's going, you could start in February. Anyway.
It's gonna be downright balmy by March.
Yeah.
It'll be 80 degrees.
Golf course is gonna be open.
No.
But there were many things, like, we didn't even know the actual size of the tanks. We have accurate measurements now, so that's kind of step one. Big meters telling us what's coming in is step two, and then residential meters telling us what exactly is going out is step three. Then, because it's hard to talk to our engineer about, do we have enough water? He's like, well, how accurate are your tank measurements? How accurate are your meters? Like, I don't know, Ryan, how accurate are they? So it's hard to give hard numbers without these three things coming on.
And if you have solid residential meters and you have good meters counting the inflow and outflow, then you know what you're losing in the line. That's the magic to this. And I
That's why I hesitate. I mean, it makes me nervous about talking about annexation until we know that.
Good point.
And it seems like we don't have a great,
Yeah.
I mean, not by anybody's fault. It's just like, I don't know that we should be looking at annexation until we have those hard answers. Like, we have exact numbers of how much can our water supply support.
Yeah, but what it's based on right now is not this most firm foundation, let's say.
Right,
Yes.
yeah, and that's scary. Like,
And yeah, this
Yeah.
could be our baseline here. It's not about averages, right? It's about what is your
Except-
worst
yeah,
year.
you wanna know what-
You can't run
yeah.
out of water. Yeah, you
Right.
just, anyway, yeah, I agree.
What's your load capacity?
Yep.
yeah,
Anyway, to finish this thing off, I would like to look at the water rates again this year with the FAB and make a stronger recommendation to the board. It would be great if we had any kind of metering data about it this year compared to next year.
And we've asked, I've just made a request that we get the rates in with the first pass of the budget, the first reading, so that we have time to be able to review that. So, instead of getting it on the third reading. You really,
When is it first reading?
the first reading will be April, you know, it would be the second Tuesday in April, but it's got to be ready the end of March.
I got it. So the April, second Tuesday in April is the 14th.
14th, so go back 10 days. It's got to be done, the first reading by the 3rd of April. It's really got to be done by the second, first, because.
All right, we'll make note of that. The other thing I'd like to, there's new business that I want to get involved with this year is the fee schedule. There's several things on there that I don't agree with really. And since I got this sheet up there, I'd like to use activity-based costing philosophies to look at some of those fees. I think a lot of them were just pulled out of the air without much thought into how much activity and time and resources go into the things. So I don't know when those have to be established. Like to walk the process on some of those and do some time studies and so forth, like we used to do in the automotive business. And see if those fees make sense. I think we're making things unaffordable. Seems to be a new buzzword lately this last few months. And I'd like to improve that a little bit. I'm a big cost efficiency person, so just my personal drive on that. But if the board would agree, as a citizens board, to want to look at some of those, then I think that would be a good idea.
And you'll have to do it all offline, obviously, because they'll come in and you'll have to do it yourself. I mean, you could have a meeting to review it as a FAB. That's-
Maybe not get anything done this year, maybe one or two of them, we can look at a couple of them every year or something, and see if it makes sense. I don't know.
Okay.
Just I want to throw it out, a new item kind of that I'm curious about looking into.
So,
Anything else, anybody have other things that they'd like to wish for? Okay, that leaves us with item E, which is future meetings. Now, we set the placeholders. I'm not on that agenda anymore, but if you have the agenda, it's the last item. We set April 23rd and July 23rd originally, 23rd for budget review and July 23rd for investment reviews.
So we're gonna review the budget after the first reading?
no, I would say you need to do it before the first reading.
Yeah,
Because
this would be after. April 23rd would be
20
2 weeks after.
Yeah, so what I'd say is that last week of March, or the 23rd of March, that week, we're gonna target to have that done internally by then, and we could give it out to you guys and it's gonna be a quick hitter. Now, there's things that we can change in the second reading, obviously, but we want it as close as we can for that first reading, right? So we're not changing half the numbers. But the idea would be, I mean, we could try to do it the week before, the 16th, because again, we've got the construct all done. It's ready to go. We're going to use the actuals we've got this year and just kind of use them to trend, right? And picking it, an inflation rate. So hopefully, and then look at the capital. That's the big thing, and then head count. So.
Are you thinking March 16th or 23rd, those weeks?
I think, and I'm speaking for Loretta here, but if we carved out the first 2 weeks of March, we'd have that ready by the 16th. We could get it out to you guys could review it, and we could have a little call to see if anybody had any suggestions or comments. I don't know if that would make sense for you guys, but.
Well, that puts us before the meeting, the first reading,
Right.
which I prefer.
Instead
I
of,
think it makes a lot more sense than to meet
Okay.
2 weeks after.
do you, okay,
Yeah, well, we can change the April 23rd when we want here. So if you get us a draft data by like the 16th, you could almost have the meeting sometime the 23rd, 4th, 5th, something.
I think what we do is we give it to you on the 16th and we have the review meeting on the 23rd or 24th, one of those 2 days.
So I changed that, I'll see, the 23rd is a Monday, the Tuesday is a 24th. Just change it in the minutes here.
Julie,
We're on the 24th?
The 24th of March, right?
Of March.
Yeah, April,
March
or March
15th is a
24th.
big day for you.
No, it's not for me. I'm not a tax.
The tax.
You don't
I'm
do
not a
that.
tax person.
Okay, all right.
So,
But March 16th, we'll target internally to distribute it. And then you guys can have a meeting on the Well, I'm sure I'll be invited, so on the 24th, okay?
So how are you guys planning
Okay,
on
we'll put the
sending
24th.
the questions for the annexation in trouble? Are you just?
It's better than
are you guys
anything
gonna
in
meet for
April, I have
that,
to
or
close
just
out
do-
HOA stuff and then record it. I'd rather prefer.
You don't have a Google Sheet, do you?
I don't, but we can create one.
If we created a Google Sheet and everybody could edit it,
Okay.
and we could just add our questions down at the bottom, would that be?
Sure.
And Rand may need some help, he can send them to me, and I'll type them in Google Sheets. But again, the issue, it's a whole lot easier
Yeah.
for everybody. Just do an invite.
What
Okay.
time are you planning on doing it? Because Jamie's texting.
All right, so I'm gonna place over the 24th of March then for the meeting.
It needs to be in the afternoon, Thursday.
How soon do we have to get the agendas to the town? Is that 2 weeks out or?
On which day, which
The
day?
24th.
Let's do the 24th, let's do a 2 PM.
Can we do later than that?
Okay.
3, I have a meeting.
Does it
too.
help you if it's later?
Yeah, it does.
Okay, let's use,
2:30's fine, or not, well, three's best. that
3,
way.
let's go 3 o'clock. Okay?
Yeah.
Boy, I love putting things way out there.
Sad thing is, it's not that far.
And then
I know.
July 23rd, for now, I was moving based on.
March 24th, we'll have our
March.
review meeting at 3 PM, Mountain Time.
Right, do you want to invest, there's not a whole lot of investment, we kind of got the investment process down where we think, hoping Loretta still moving excess funds over there and holding back the needs so we can maximize interest earnings. I know the rates come down as it follows the federal funds rate, but there's really not a whole lot of have to do on investments other than make sure we're following the process we have set up. We'll leave that until the next meeting to talk about.
Okay.
Very good. All right, well, not sure how to handle the minutes on this. I got notes all over.
I will send you the AI, and then you can edit those. You could actually have everybody review the AI notes if you wanted to, but it's usually better if you just review them and cut out the things that aren't important.
Basic stuff.
Yeah, just delete it.
All right.
Okay?
Well, thanks everybody for calling in and participating. It's kind of tough to do when we're scattered all over. It's tough for face-to-face meeting. Okay, that's an additional adjourn, I guess. If you don't do anything.
Meeting adjourned. All right, hey, thanks, Dave. Appreciate it.
I second your thank you. These people are really wonderful. They've really been very nice. Thank you.
All righty, we'll talk to you later.